What does it really feel like to live in Austin? Everyone talks about the music, the tech boom, and the barbecue, but there's a whole new rhythm to this city right now. After years of skyrocketing costs and growing pains, Austin is in the middle of a reset. Housing prices cooling, jobs diversifying, and new projects reshaping daily life. If you've ever thought about moving here, this is what it's actually like to build a life in Austin today. The good, the exciting, and what's worth knowing before you pack the U-Haul. First thing you notice living here? The job scene is still buzzing. Austin didn't lose its edge when tech slowed down nationally. Sure, the big layoffs made headlines last year, but local hiring stayed strong. By mid-2025, the metro's unemployment rate hovered around 3%, still one of the lowest in the country. And it's not just coding jobs anymore. Advanced manufacturing, healthcare, clean energy, and the creative industry have all carved out big slices of the economy. Samsung's chip plant north of the city keeps growing, while startups downtown and near the Domain are hiring again. The average local worker now earns about $34 an hour according to federal data, well above the national average. That pay goes a long way toward balancing out Austin's costs. If you're job hunting, don't limit yourself to downtown. North Austin, Round Rock, and Cedar Park are packed with mid-sized companies quietly offering solid opportunities without the downtown traffic. Second, something rare is happening in Austin's housing market. It's cooling down. After years of impossible bidding wars, 2025 brought a breath of relief. Median home values dropped to around the mid-400,000s, and rent prices have been falling. Typical one-bedroom leases now hover around $1,600 a month, a big shift from pandemic highs. For anyone thinking of relocating, that's a window worth watching. The local rule of thumb still applies. If you want a walkable lifestyle, you'll pay more downtown or in South Congress. But if you're okay with a short commute, neighborhoods like North Loop or Cherrywood still have character without breaking your budget. Now, let's talk quality of life. Austin keeps landing on Best Cities to Live lists for good reason. Healthcare here is genuinely excellent. Between St. David's, Ascension Seton, and the Dell Medical School at UT, you have access to top-tier hospitals and specialists without driving to another metro. That matters when you actually live here, not just visit for a festival. Education is another anchor. UT Austin keeps the city young and innovative, and its influence spills over into local culture, startups, and research. If you like being around curious, driven people, you'll feel it here. But the secret sauce is still the lifestyle. Live music isn't just a slogan, it's woven into daily life. You can catch a set any night of the week, from a blues trio in a dive bar to a jazz band tucked behind a food truck park. SXSW continues to draw international crowds, and local venues are thriving again. And beyond the stages, there's the food. Austin's restaurant scene keeps expanding beyond barbecue. There's an explosion of new spots serving everything from vegan Tex-Mex to Southeast Asian fusion. Then there's the outdoors, which you learn to appreciate even more once you've been here a while. Lady Bird Lake trails, Barton Springs, the Hill Country wineries just 30 minutes west. It's a lifestyle built around sunshine. Yes, summer heat is intense, but locals know the rhythm. Morning hikes, afternoon shade, evening breeze. The city's also doubling down on sustainability. The 2025 Climate Equity Plan is funding new shade corridors, green roofs, and electric bus routes through Project Connect. It's one of the most forward-thinking southern cities when it comes to clean energy and transit, and that's saying something. Another reason people stay? Austin still feels open. It's a mix of long-timers and newcomers, and despite all the growth, the vibe is friendly. Walk into a coffee shop and you'll end up chatting with someone who moved here from across the world last month. The city's diversity keeps deepening. Large Hispanic and Asian communities, artists from everywhere, and a general attitude that lets people be who they are. And let's be real, life here has quirks. You'll see pickup trucks sharing parking lots with Teslas. You'll pay more for electricity in August. You'll wait for months to see some of these infrastructure projects finished. But it's also a city where you can reinvent yourself, where people are still optimistic about what's next. If you decide to move, a small tip: plan for a car. at least for now. Austin's walk score sits around 42, meaning most errands still require driving. Light rail and bus rapid routes are on the way, but they're a few years out. For groceries, check local chains like H-E-B. They're affordable, high quality, and have loyal followings. And keep an eye on property tax bills. Texas doesn't have state income tax, but homeowners definitely feel it in local taxes. For groceries, check local chains like H-E-B. They're affordable, high quality, and have loyal followings. And keep an eye on property tax bills. Texas doesn't have state income tax, but homeowners definitely feel it in local taxes. Overall, 2025 feels like Austin finding its balance again. The tech gold rush has matured into a steadier economy. Housing's easing, culture's thriving, and infrastructure is finally catching up. The creative heartbeat never left. It just adapted. If you want a city that mixes entrepreneurial drive with laid-back energy, Austin still nails it. You can work hard, grab a taco on your lunch break, swim in Barton Springs after work, and hear a live band that night without trying too hard. That's the real Austin experience, one that's still evolving, but undeniably alive. Of course, every city has its challenges. Traffic, rising costs, summer heat, and some safety concerns come with the territory. Up next, let's talk about the parts of Austin that don't always make the postcards, the cons you'll want to know before you make the move. We've talked about the good, the music, the energy, the jobs, but no city's perfect. Let's go through what locals actually wrestle with day to day, and what you can do to make life smoother. One of the biggest hurdles? The cost of living still bites. Austin is about 29% more expensive than the national average according to cost of living indexes. Housing eats the largest share of most people's budgets, and property taxes keep climbing to cover city growth. You'll feel it at the grocery store too. Prices at H-E-B or Whole Foods have eased slightly, but not enough to offset housing and insurance costs. Then there's the traffic. Anyone who sat on I-35 at rush hour knows this pain. Even with billions going into Project Connect and new lane expansions, congestion is still a daily grind in 2025. GPS might say 20 minutes, but that can double fast once you hit downtown or the river bridges. The good news? The city's investing heavily in light rail and rapid bus lines. Construction is visible all over town. Until that's done, a few survival tricks help. Stagger your commute, rely on MoPac instead of I-35 when you can, and learn the back roads early. For shorter trips, e-bikes and scooters have become surprisingly practical. Austin's bike infrastructure has improved, especially near the central and east side corridors. Safety has become another conversation. Ongoing debates about police staffing have raised concerns about response times in some neighborhoods. Some neighborhoods noticed slower response for minor incidents, though violent crime rates haven't spiked dramatically. It's more about perception than panic, but it's real. If you move here, stay tuned into community watch groups. They're active and well organized. And like most cities, your sense of safety will depend heavily on where you live. Downtown late at night can feel sketchy in certain blocks, while residential zones like Hyde Park or South Lamar stay calm and neighborly. Another thing that catches newcomers off guard is how car-dependent this city still is. Austin's overall walk score hovers in the low 40s, meaning most errands require driving. A few districts, downtown, Muller, and South Congress, are pleasant on foot, but once you leave those zones, sidewalks vanish fast. The bus system is reliable in central areas but limited elsewhere. Until Project Connect's rail lines open, owning a car or at least a reliable bike is almost essential. Gas prices and insurance run higher than you might expect, so build that into your cost calculations. The upside? Parking is still easier and cheaper here than in other major metros, and weekend drives into the hill country are part of what makes living here special. Then there's the weather. Austin heat doesn't play around. Summer days regularly break into the upper 90s, and 2025 brought multiple stretches of triple-digit temperatures lasting over a week. Add humidity, and it can feel brutal. Locals adapt by shifting their schedule. Outdoor workouts happen before 9 a.m. or after sunset, and almost every social event moves indoors by July. Cooling costs spike in summer too, so keep energy-efficient habits in mind. Shade your windows, maintain your AC filters, and know that utility bills will be higher between June and September. The flip side is that winters are mild and sunny, giving you outdoor time year-round. Another ongoing issue is the housing affordability gap. Yes, prices have cooled, but income growth hasn't fully caught up. Even with a median rent around $1,600, many residents still need to earn over $70,000 a year to meet basic affordability benchmarks. That's tough for service workers or those in the arts scene, the very people who helped build Austin's creative soul. The city's trying to respond with new affordable housing bonds and mixed-use zoning, but projects take years. Finally, the climate risk. Austin's weather patterns are shifting. 2025 saw more flash flooding in low-lying areas, and infrastructure projects are racing to keep pace. The city's climate resilience plan is active, but flooding and extreme heat will remain part of life here. Check FEMA maps before signing a lease or buying a home. A little research can save you thousands later. The silver lining through all of this? Austinites are resourceful. People find ways to make it work. Carpooling, shared gardens, neighborhood meetups, and a strong sense of community that softens the edges of city stress. You don't move here for perfection. You move here because even with the challenges, the city has heart. So what's the verdict? Austin in 2025 isn't the cheap, quirky college town it once was, but it's also no longer the overpriced tech bubble of 2022. It's stabilizing, growing into a more balanced version of itself. Up next, let's break it all down. Who the city really works for, how it compares to others, and what kind of lifestyle you can realistically build here. So, after weighing the highs and lows of living in Austin, here's the bottom line. Austin still holds on to that spark that made it famous, a place where creativity and ambition collide under the Texas sun. You've got an unmatched live music culture, a buzzing tech scene, and that laid-back charm that somehow keeps it all from feeling too corporate. But it's also true that Austin's growth has outpaced its infrastructure. Traffic jams, rising housing costs, and unpredictable weather are part of the deal now. It's still vibrant, but it's not the same affordable, easygoing Austin people remember from 10 years ago. When you stack it against other cities, Austin sits in a unique middle ground. Compared to Dallas, Austin feels less business formal and more free-spirited. You trade in glass towers for food trucks and creativity. It's a place for people who like building things from scratch, startups, art projects, small businesses, or even personal reinventions. If you're comfortable with heat, flexible with commute times, and you actually enjoy being around people chasing big ideas, you'll find your rhythm here fast. What makes Austin special right now in 2025 is that it's still trying to figure out what it wants to be: tech capital, creative haven, or both. Neighborhoods are evolving, the skyline's changing almost monthly, and the local scene keeps reinventing itself. If you can handle the pace, it's exciting to be part of that transformation rather than just reading about it. So, if you love live music on a Tuesday and an electric atmosphere, Austin's got you covered. Just bring patience for the traffic and a good AC unit. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more city deep dives.